All right. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at Mind the Mind 7.0. It's time for mindful parenting, and we do not take this opportunity for granted. Thank you for being a part of all the Mind the Mind sessions that we've had. Okay, so from the theme, you can tell that we have had about 6 editions, successful editions, if I say so myself. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that you're here once again as a tribe member. Thank you for everyone that will still, come up to join. And we want to say that we appreciate that you're here on time. Thank you. I see you all, even if I may not be able to mention everyone's name right now. Mrs. Oluwatoyo Ogukomi is here with us already, and we appreciate that we're kicking off right on time. So I'm going to start with an icebreaker. If you have your biros, your pens, your writing materials with you already, I need you to do something quickly. Please, 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 I crave your indulgence to do something quickly. Take your mind, I need you to go on a journey with me right now. Take your mind to a place where you assume that, not even say that you're assuming, see your family, whether you're married or single, see your family as a nation, because that's how it's supposed to be. See your family as a nation, and on your paper, write down about 4 core values that your nation has. And nation here is your family in this, represented in that, paper of yours. So your nation, for example, I am from the Oluwalere Kingdom. I'm from the Oluwalere Nation, and we represent X, Y, Z values, right? Put those values on a sheet of paper and draw your family flag, your national flag. So do something around that. You can depict that flag, probably with symbols. You may want to say, okay, probably, for example, I'm trying to paint a mind, picture for you here, so that you will see what my family represents. For instance, on my flag, what you have is about 4 partitions. On my family flag, you're going to see on one column of one column of the flag, you're going to see love, the love icon. You're going to see, symbols of human beings, talking about humanity. You're going to see symbols of service, okay? And then you're going to see a symbol, just the color green, which shows that we're fruitful. So you may want to do that quickly for yours. Try as much as possible. I may just ask you to respond and tell us what your family flag looks like. So quickly, let's do that icebreaker. Thank you very much for joining in. For those that are just joining, you're welcome again to Mind the Mind 7.0. Mindful parenting is our focus for today. Thank you for joining in from all over the world. I appreciate that you're here on time. Thank you so much. So quickly, for those that are just joining in, we're doing a brief ice-breaking exercise at the moment, and we're asking every one of us to take a sheet of paper and write down 4 core values that your family represents. Either you're single or you're married, okay? 4 core values that your family represents. You want to put those values, depicting them in probably icons or whatever symbol that you want to put, and then draw your family flag. That's your national flag, assuming that your family is a nation. And beyond that assumption, it's actually a nation, and that's what it's supposed to be. So draw your family flag. That's what we're doing now. So who wants to share what is on their family flag? Wega, are you ready to share? Dami, are you ready? I can see Dami on Natasha. I can see Dayo Lufemi. If you're ready to share, please share right now. I'd already given you an idea of what our own family flag is. So quickly, you can do that. Thank you, Dami. All right.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
On my family flag, I have love as the first thing. Then I have unity, respect, and fun loving. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Dami. So I can actually picture those icons on your family flag. And so it shows the nation that you represent. What an awesome nation. Thank you, Dami. Thank you. So who wants to share quickly as well before the icebreaking session is over, or while you're drawing it? Thank you for joining in. If you do not want to share anything for now, please permit us to ask you to mute yourself so that we don't have any form of interruptions from your environment. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. So while we're having us do that bit of ice breaking activity, I would like us to know that you're here for a very, very good time today. And beyond just being here for a good time, we're here to learn, we're here to share. It's going to be as interactive as possible. If you have questions on parenting, we have our experts in the house already, who is ready and super geared up to answer all our questions, all the questions that we have for today. So if you have any question on your mind that you had already, earlier planned to ask, be ready with them. You can drop them in the chat room at any point in time during the presentation, and we will have that. We'll be able to take your questions. And if you have any comments, feel free also to share with us. So once we kick off, the icebreaking session should be off in about a minute or two. So whoever wants to share what their family flag, their national flag looks like, please also do let us know. And thank you also at this point. We're also going to let you know that this meeting is recorded so that you would have that at the back of your mind already, that is recorded, so that in case we need to share or publish on the social media platforms much later, please be aware that this meeting is recorded. Thank you very much. So thank you everyone for joining in. The icebreaking session is over, and I'm sure that you can please try as much as possible. If you didn't get to do it, please try to have that exercise or activity done with members of your family much later. It gives like a back-to-back, successful interaction. It gives room for interactive feedback, even within your family members. Or it could be maybe your nuclear family or your extended family. You can do that with them from time to time. So you get to review your family values, and then you can have the flag also in mind, so that everyone that goes out of your family goes out like citizens of a proper nation, right? So that they have it at the back of their minds, what the nation that they are representing, what the values that the nation that they're coming from, represents. Thank you again for coming. Quickly, I'm going to take the bio of our guest speaker for today. I'm excited to do this. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkanmi is a psychologist and a certified family life practitioner. She's an advocate for positive parenting. She helps parents to understand and connect with their children, adolescents, by teaching and providing them with practical strategies, tools, and information to raise them into well-balanced adults, and to also create a serene family life. She's the founder of Parenting Support System Limited, an organization that helps parents to create a serene family life without losing their cool. Oluwatoyin is the convener of the No Yelling Challenge, Smart Parenting Workshop, and Parent Connect. All these forums are forums where parents get together to discuss issues relating to their parenting journey. Oluwatoyin is also the author of the parenting journal, Smart Parenting, Health. Who is this stranger in my home? All these are going to help you prepare your adolescents for independent living, and she has a book even on that topic as well, preparing your adolescents for independent living, and so many other ebooks. She's a certified parenting educator with the USAID Better Parenting Nigeria curriculum program, who has trained, curriculum has trained over 5,000 parents on her online parenting platforms and the groups. She has been featured on many media platforms like Channels TV, AIT, Reading FM, and so on. She has a passion for teaching and coaching parents to be deliberate in their role and parenting journey. She's married with 3 great children, and she can be contacted via her website, oluwatoyinogunkomi.com. Please make welcome our guest for today, our expert in parenting issues, my one and only parenting coach and professional. Thank you for, just do the virtual clapping, virtual welcomes, do all that you need to do. Make welcome Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. Thank you very much. You have the floor, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Mrs. Ronke, for inviting me to come and share my wealth of knowledge with your community. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your busy schedule. Saturday is a day where everyone just wants to sleep and, just right away time. No one would want to use Saturday to go for a training. But for those of you here, I just want to say thank you so much to come out and to listen to us. So today I'll be talking about mindful parenting. But before I go into mindful parenting, I always like talking about parenting first, because the core of what I do is parenting. The core of what I do, in fact, most of the things I do, I interact with parents. I have a school shop, I still interact with parents. I do contracts, I still interact with parents. And one thing about parenting is that parenting is a leadership role. No one was born with the skill called parenting. No one, most of the things we see people doing is things that they've either learned from their parents or things they've learned from people around them. However, there's a science to parenting. There's a science to parenting which a lot of people don't really know about. And there's a science to parenting where I feel that we need to be teaching parents more. Parents to be existing parents, they need to know the science of parenting. So I'll just talk a little bit about what parenting is, then before I go into what mindful parenting is all about. So when we talk about parenting, I'm going to ask a question. Let's go to the chat room. How many of us, before we became parents, actually knew what parenting was all about? Let's go to the chat room. Let's put some comment there. How many of us, before becoming parents, actually knew that this is what parenting is going to be or is going to be? How many of us? Let's go to the chat room. Let's see how many responses. Thinking. Somebody says she's still thinking. Okay, somebody says she's thinking. Okay, let's go. Partially aware. Okay. Not at all. I have prior knowledge because I lived with my older sister and I observed a lot. Dami, you're going to be a little guinea pig in our class today. Dami said she learned a little bit from her sister. So Dami, let's go to you, Dami. Things you learned from your sister, things you saw your sister doing when you became a parent, were there the things you were doing too?
It was absolutely different.
Why? What's the difference? What made it different?
Because each child is unique, and I realized that the qualities my sister had. My sister is a very stern person. I'm very soft. So the
Okay.
parenting style was quite different. And while I was training my own children, because in between training my children, I moved from Nigeria to Australia, and I had to like unlearn a lot of African cultures and, try to fit in into the new system. And I'm still struggling because I'm the African parent, completely African
Okay.
parent, but I'm training an
Okay.
Australian kid. So there's always
Wow.
clash and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Damilola, for sharing your experience with us. So the thing about parenting is that a lot of us actually learned parenting by observing the people around us. We learned parenting by seeing either your parents, your sisters, your neighbors, the way they're raising their children. And you know the thing about children is that we learn by observation. We learn by, so on getting into your home, you might notice that you will be doing some of those things that you saw either your parents doing or you saw your sister or your neighbors doing. However, what really is parenting? I have defined parenting as a deliberate process of raising a child from infancy all the way to adulthood. And this process involves you, the parent or the caregiver, promoting the child's physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual development. Parenting is not just you being able to give birth, bringing forth a child. Parenting is not just you being able to provide the basic needs for the child. No, there is much more to parenting. Parenting involves you nurturing this child. It involves you raising this child. It involves you teaching, training, and influencing the child to be the best version of himself or herself. And I love what Damilola said. Damilola said we're all different, we're all unique. And that is one thing parents need to know, that every child God has given to you is special and unique. And you need to raise them based on their uniqueness. I tell parents that, see, we have general rules in the home. However, in the process of implementing these rules, you implement it to suit the personality of that child. And one of the things we do at Parenting Support System is that we prepare new parents for the role, because it's a new role they're stepping into. It's a new identity they're taking on, being a parent. So we prepare parents into that role. And for existing parents, we provide them with tools, we provide them with practical information, with skills, with resources to make this journey peaceful, to make this journey seamless. So parenting really is about the child and you, the parents. However, parenting starts with you, the parents. You know, the process of being a parent, I say it's a transformational journey. It's not, like I said, it's not something that you're born into. It's something you have to learn along the way. So being a parent will transform you. Another question I'm going to ask, before you became a parent, how many of you thought you were patient? How many of you thought you were kind before you became a parent? How many of you, before you became parents, how many of you thought you were kind? Let's go to the chat room, please. Chat room, chat room. I'm waiting for responses. How many of you thought you were, I'm thinking, okay, let's go. How many of you thought you were patient? Someone saying, someone saying, I'm thinking. Most of us actually thought we were very good people before we became parents. You know, most of us, as in for me, I used to say that, I was a gentle, as in, never thought I was that patient. Oh, that's good, Dial. Okay. For me, I thought I was very patient. I was very accommodating, very tolerant. But on becoming a parent, I saw the true version of myself. So one thing you need to know is when you become parents, you would see your true self, because your children, they are children. They're going to test you. They're going to push boundaries. They're going to do all sorts. So for parents who are not mindful, for parents who are not intentional or deliberate, you end up seeing that negative side of yourself. And that's why it's very important that we go for training. That's why it's very important we go for skills development and all that before we become parents. Even as parents, it's very important we go for training to learn more about the science of raising children. Now, in the 21st century, most of us, if not all of us, we do more than one thing. Apart from being a parent, you're also either running a business, you have a career, you have a job, you are your sister, you are your child. No, you have so many roles. Some of us have roles in the churches we go to. Some of us have role in the society, in an association. We have so many other roles where we've taken up, and these roles we've taken up, these roles, it's taxing too. You know, being a parent is taxing. Now, being a parent and a career person, being a parent and a church worker, being a parent and maybe president of an association is another tax on its own. And you see parents juggling all these roles together in the process of trying to find themselves, in the process of trying to be effective. You see parents doing lots of multitasking. And when we do this multitasking, it helps, we end up not being mindful of our role as parents. We end up not being mindful of our role as maybe the career person. We end up not being mindful of so many things. We've been sold that multitasking is good. However, being a multitasker takes a lot from you. It takes, number one, you end up not being productive. Imagine you're doing one task and you put your all in that one task. You can imagine the output you get from that task. Now, imagine you've now divided your attention into 2, 3, 4 other tasks. You end up not giving your ultimate best into what you're doing. And that's one thing, that's one of the disadvantages of multitasking. And we multitask because we have so many things we're doing. Now, I was about to ask, is multitasking good or bad? But from science, we've seen that multitasking is not good. What are the disadvantages of multitasking? It's a form of distraction, it's a form of stress. It's because you're bouncing from one activity to the other. It hampers productivity. The quality of work you give due to the fact you're multitasking will be very poor. It gives memory block. So many negative things have been attached to multitasking. So what is the solution? What are the things we need to do? What we need to do is we need to be mindful as individuals. And when I talk about being mindful, what do I mean by being mindful? Mindfulness simply means being present, being aware of yourself, being aware of your environment, being aware of your thoughts, being aware of what you're doing without being judgmental. That's me paraphrasing what mindfulness is about. Mindfulness simply means you paying attention, you listening, watching, you considering what is happening per time. Mindfulness simply means you being present in what you're doing. However, when you multitask, you realize that you're not being present because your mind is in 10 different other places. Your mind, so for example, the mom, let me use mothers for example. Mothers are said to be very good multitaskers, right? However, do we really accomplish that 100% women? Do we give 100% in what we're doing? Let me give an example. In the morning, you're preparing your child for school, you're preparing yourself for work, you're cooking, you put food on the pot, in the stove, on the stove, you're going through your phone, you're doing like 5, 6 different things at a time. And you end up screaming at your child because your child is maybe delaying you. You end up screaming at the other person, maybe your spouse, maybe because your spouse was going to pick up something. For the fact that you're multitasking at that point in time, it takes a whole toll on you emotionally. And that's why we preach mindfulness in parenting. Be mindful, know what you're doing per time. What are the things, what do you need to do now? Do those things now. Anything, any other thing you want to do it the next minute. Do it in the next, after 25 minutes. One of the things we talk about in mindful parenting is that you need to have a routine. You need to have a schedule. When it's time for you to be with the children, be with the children. When it's time for you to be cooking, be cooking. When it's time for you to be at work, be at work. But when you try to do all these things together at once, you end up not being productive. You end up not giving the best of yourself. And that's why we preach mindfulness in parenting. And like I said, mindfulness simply means you being in a conscious state, in a state of where you are aware of what you're doing, in the state where you're present, you are emotionally and physically present in what you're doing. Now, what is mindful parenting? Mindful parenting, I've defined it as simply being emotionally and physically present, being emotionally and physically aware of your feelings, your emotions, being emotionally and physically aware of what you're saying, being emotional. You can see I'm emphasizing emotionally and physically, being emotionally and physically aware of what you're doing per time. It involves parents acting before they act. And what do I mean by that? It involves parents applying consequential thinking before they do things. It involves parents being in tune to what their children is feeling, to the feelings of the children per time. It simply means you are in tune to your child's deeper need at that point in time. Let's go back to the example I gave about the morning runs. If I ask parents here, when is the most stressful time of the day? Let's go to our chat room. When is the most stressful time of the day as a mother or as a parent? Chat room. Are we still here? Mornings. Okay, Dami said mornings. It seems like it's only Dami. Dami is like, I'm going to give you a gift too. Let's see the most people that will participate and get. Dami, I have a gift for you already, Damilola, so don't worry about that. You've participated so well. Let's see the next 2-3 other people that will participate in this session. I have another gift for them. I have my books. So I'm gifting out my books. So let's see. Mornings. Yeah. The mornings. So why would you say morning is the most stressful time of the day? Every morning, yeah. So why would you say mornings, your morning or every morning is the most stressful time of the day? Why would you say that? Chat room. Why would you say your morning period or morning time of the day, the morning is the most stressful part of the day? Why would you say that? School run, shower, breakfast, cooking, work time. Yeah. Let's go. Who else is chatting? The mornings. We do a lot in the mornings. And your morning can actually be peaceful. Do you know that your mornings can be peaceful without the stress of the morning? School runs, someone says school runs, okay, thank you. Do you know that your morning can be peaceful? Preparing for school work, cooking, etc. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Do you know that your morning can be peaceful? Do you know that you can actually wake up in the morning, do everything you need to do without rushing, without being in a hurry, without all that? Do you know that it can happen? And that's one of the things I'm going to teach today. Mindfulness is a tool that we need in parenting. Being a mindful parent is very important. In the mornings, we rush because we have so many things. We're trying to multitask. We're trying to do so much within the short 2 to 3 or 4 hours window we have for the mornings. However, do you know that if you schedule your mornings properly And for each activity that you've put on your schedule, you are in that activity. You are not multitasking, doing something else. Do you know that your morning run will be peaceful? Do you know that? So mindful parenting involves you, it entails you being mindful, it entails you being in tune with what you're doing per day. You know, it involves you being present at that given point in time. It's as simple as you noticing what your child is doing, as simple as you listening to your child with all your attention. That is what mindful parenting is all about. It involves you listening to your child. It involves you noticing your own feeling as a parent. You know, I know the good thing about it is that our body will tell us when to stop. Our body will tell us, oh, you need to take a break. But do we listen to our body? Do we listen to our bodies when they talk to us? Do you listen to your body when it talks to you? Understand? Our body will talk to us. Our bodies will tell us, Tony, it's time to rest. You'll be feeling some pangs in your temple like this. It's telling you, Tony, you need to relax. At times your body will be twitching, your hands will be shaking. Your body is it's talking to you. But are we mindful of these small body cues? Are we mindful of these red flags that our body, the signs being spoken to us by our body? Do we listen? So as little as noticing your feelings is very important. As little as learning to pause before you respond. Responding instead of reacting. Responding means you're thinking through your action. Reacting simply means something has happened. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. You just react immediately. But being a mindful parent simply means that you are, it simply means that you are in tune with what is happening around you per time. And what are the benefits of being mindful? I'm going to give about 5 or 6 benefits. Number one benefit is that it helps you feel more responsive and less overwhelming. It gives you this peace of mind when you are being mindful, when you practice mindfulness in parenting. It helps you to be more responsive to your children instead of you reacting or instead of you shouting and getting worked up all the time. It helps you it takes away overwhelm from you. It helps one thing about another benefit of being mindful is that you learn to pause, you step away from multitasking, you live in the moment, you are more productive. It makes you more peaceful. Mindful parents helps their children to feel safe and calm. I don't know how many of us watched the video. There was one video that went viral over the week about a gentleman that his mom was putting a restraining order on because the young man is kind of violent. And the boy was like, but when I was younger, you used to do this. This was what I got to know. At that point in time, the boy said he was not safe around his mom. So if you're a parent that is always overwhelmed, if you're a parent that is always getting aggressive, your child would not feel safe around you. Being a mindful parent helps your child to feel safe and also helps your child to be calm. I know when I said children learn by observation. They learn mostly by what they see us doing. So if your child is always seeing you, you're always rushing, you're always in a hurry, you're always, your child ends up becoming like that too. Another good benefit of being mindful is that it helps you to be more empathetic towards the other person. And what do I mean by this? For the fact that you've taken time to understand how the other person is feeling, for the fact that you've taken time to be in tune to your child's feeling, it makes you more empathetic towards your child. It makes you more compassionate towards your child. It makes your children also to be compassionate. If you've seen parents Okay, if we've seen parents, if we've seen children that have parents that are peaceful, you notice that they themselves are peaceful. If you see children whose parents are very aggressive, those children too will be aggressive. So those are the benefits of being mindful. So let me just go over the benefits again before I go to the steps of how we can be mindful. I said it helps you to be more responsive. It takes overwhelm from you. It makes you more productive because you won't be multitasking again. It makes you peaceful. Being mindful helps your children to feel safe and calm. Being mindful makes you more empathetic and compassionate towards your children. When you're a mindful parent, your children too end up becoming empathetic and compassionate towards others because they would have learned how to be mindful from you. Now, what are the 4 strategies to mindful parenting? There are 4 things we can do to, and you know the thing about being a mindful parent is that it's not something you just, I'm going to teach you today, and it's not something that all of a sudden you're going to start doing. No, it's a practice. Mindfulness is a practice. We have to start, it's something that you practice. So I'm going to give you 4 tips of 4 strategies or 4 steps on how to be mindful. The first is, I'm going to use the acronym STOP. So if you remember STOP, then that is mindfulness. The first is you pausing. Whenever you find yourself in a situation of overwhelm, whenever you find yourself in a situation whereby you're just ruffled, you're not calm, all you need to do at that point in time is just stop everything you're doing. Just stop everything you're doing. Take a pause. Just stop. Stop. Take that few minutes to take a deep breath. So that's T. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Feel your muscles soften and becoming relaxed. It helps you. When you stop, first you just have to stop what you're doing. Just pause for a few seconds. EI says we should pause for 6 seconds. Just pause for a few minutes, or I would say 1 minute. Pause for 1 minute. Just drop everything you're doing at that point in time and just pause and take a few deep breaths. In the process of taking this deep breath, you're breathing in, you're breathing out, it will help you to relax. It will help you to relax. Then the next thing you do is to observe, why am I feeling like this? What has happened around me? Why am I feeling upset? Just observe things around you. Pay attention with curiosity to your thoughts. What are you thinking? What made you start acting like that? What are the sensations? What are the emotions going around you? There's something in psychology that we call them cognitive behavior therapy. It's a process where we address your thoughts and your behavior. And it's also an emotional intelligence. There's something called CFA, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Whatever you're thinking affects your behavior. So anything you're thinking affects your behavior. So observe simply means you taking notice. Observe, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? I know there are times that your children will do certain things, and before they can even say the reason for them doing what they're doing, we have already given interpretations to those things. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop misinterpreting our children's action. Let's take time to even ask them, why did you do this? Why are you behaving like this? And one of the things I tell parents that say, asking of question is a great tool in parenting. Your ability to ask open-ended question, your ability to ask your children open-ended question is a great tool in parenting. It helps you to learn more from them. It helps you to get more information from them. So always observe, notice, pay attention to things around you. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to your sensation. Pay attention to your emotions. Why am I feeling like this? Why? And that's part of being mindful. Then P is proceed. So let me give an example now. Your child comes crying. Mom, okay, let me give this typical example. So recently, like I said, I have a school store. I sell back to school items. So a few days ago, a woman came to the store with her children. She has a toddler. So the toddler was very cranky. The toddler was all over her. And the typical African mother, according to Dami, she was already snapping at the child, shouting at the child, "Stop it, leave me alone. Now only you get mama. I also have mother, leave me, gumbody." She was saying all sorts. But at that point in time, I just observed the child. And I realized that this child is tired. This child was about to sleep. But the normal way that children will be fighting sleep. But at that point in time, the mom was not mindful. The mom was not in tune to the child's feeling, but the mom was not in tune to the child's emotion. At that point in time, the mother was focusing on other things around her. If she had only taken just a few minutes to just stop, "Okay, my dear, what is it? What do you want?" Just ask the question. Just, all these things, less than 2-3 minutes, should have gotten to the root of the matter. "My dear, what is it? Oh, look into the boy's eyes. You see, oh, he's very tired." You see, just look into the boy's eyes. You see the boy is tired. Okay. And immediately the mom would know what to do. The mom should just carry the boy, pet him for a few seconds, and the boy will sleep off. But because she was doing so many other things, at that point is that she felt the child was a distraction. She just snapped and shouted at the child like the typical African mother. She almost went as far as hitting the child. So as parents, mindfulness is very, very important. I can see Ronke up here, meaning that I'm about to. So let me just say the last thing. I'll just give a few mindful exercises that we can do. So I've given you how to be mindful. S is to stop, pause. T, take a few breaths. Just breathe in, breathe out. O, observe what is happening around you. Observe your child. Observe your boss. Observe your spouse. Just observe. Just take notice, be in tune to the other person's feeling. Then P, then proceed. What next should I do? Okay, I've observed this person. My son looks like he's very tired. So what should I do? What can I do to help him to settle in better so that I can go back to what I need to do? So I'll just give a few mindful exercises, then I would be out of here. So one of the things we can do as parents, to be a mindful parent, always try to look at the world from your child's view. Most times we assume our children should know. But if you've not taught the child, there's no way the child should know. Our expectations, we have this high expectation. You should know now. See how tall you are. You should know. But the child, honestly, their child doesn't know what to do. So always change your perspective at times. Don't look at things from your point of view. Look at things from your child's point of view. Consider how your child is sounding. That was the example I gave. The woman was not looking at her child. So consider how your child is sounding. Consider how your child appears to you per time. So imagine you were the child and your mom was behaving to you the way you were behaving to your child. Would you like it? Would you like it? Then look for ways to balance your need and the needs of your children. There are times you'll be tired as a parent. You are tired. You're just getting back from work. You're tired. And your child wants you around you. Mommy, mommy, mommy. They've not seen you all day. They want you around them. At that point in time, your need is to rest. At that point in time, your child's need is to be loved or affirmed by you. So how can you balance out this need? Look for ways to balance out this need. Then finally, always learn to listen actively. Let's listen actively. Let's take away distractions from us. This world, the gadget is a distraction. The people around us, they are talking. Your television is on. So many things distracting you. So let's try to put ourselves in that state where we are focused on one thing per time. Let's learn to listen actively. Let's try to engage our children when they're speaking to us. Let's look at them. Let's engage them. Let's be in tune to what they're saying and what they're doing. Thank you so much, Ronke, for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. We appreciate you. I know that you've had to rush through because the program is just for 1 hour. You would
Yes.
agree with me, everyone, that this has been an amazing session. I'm sorry that, everything is kind of packed, but I'm sure that, in fact, I have my notes full already, and I'm sure that you have been, utterly, you have been totally blessed. Let me use that word, because at the end of everything, what counts is how mindful you are. Okay, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're not, without any children right now, or maybe you have had children around you, just try, because all of these tips that she has shared would help you in one way or the other to make the world a better place. So we say in our practice that when you raise a home, you're raising a nation. When you raise children, you're not just raising children, whether they are yours or not, you're raising the world's solution. So please, I would like us to put our hands together. Anyhow you can do that. It could be in the chat room. Just say something sweet to Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkanmi for being such an amazing speaker today. Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we hope that we'll be able to do this again, because I know that this, the mindful parent, the mindfulness part of parenting is just a gist for now. It's not like it's finished, right? And you cannot have that. And also note that it's a process, it's a journey. So just try as much as possible, pick all that you can per time, and do everything within your power to be able to apply those tips. The application is what matters the most. So in very, few minutes, we're going to be going into Q&A. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat room. We'll be checking that out now. Thank you, Dami. Says this is an impactful session, short and straight to the point, Dio. Yes, thank you very much. So thank you so much, because we one thing we have also, even as from the emotional wellness company, is that it's not just about how long, or probably how long the sessions are. It's how impactful they are, and how much you can actually grab from those sessions. So if you are not running with anything today, take that acronym, stop, and run with it. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. This has been so mind-blowing. So we go to the Q&A now. We have some questions already here, sent in from a few people from our sessions before now. So we thought that those questions, would also help if we share answers with each other today. So right now, we're going to take those questions quickly. And if you still, while we're taking those questions, if you have any other one, coming into your mind, please feel free to drop them so that we can take those questions in the next few minutes that we have before we wrap up at 11. So the first question I have here says, okay, just a moment, I can hear some of the interference there. If you're not, asking a question, please, could you kindly so that let me just mute everyone. All right, so that's great. So please feel free to ask your questions. Mrs. Oluwatoyin, you can please unmute yourself once you want to answer. So the first question I have here says, just a moment. I'm trying to check that out. Oh, I think I lost that. Just a moment. Just a moment, please, please, please. Just a moment. Okay. All right, I have the first question. Can everybody hear me? Just do a thumbs up in the chat room if you can hear me. Okay, so that I'm sure. You may not necessarily unmute yourself so that we can all hear ourselves. So if you can hear me, Mr. Oluwatoyin, you can just say something if you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma. So the first question says, I was raised in a polygamous family where everyone fought for himself to get whatever they needed. I am still single, but I fear that I do not have the right foundation to raise children. What can I do? Can you answer that in a minute, ma'am?
Yes. So, when I started, I said no one was actually born with parenting skills. That most of the things we see people doing is based on what they've observed. But for you to be an effective parent, you need to go for train. You need to go for parenting trainings. You need to read books. You need to know more about yourself. You need to know more about what it means to be a parent. So the answer to that is you need to go for trainings and you equipping yourself with skills. Very important.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So the second question says, I have noticed that my teenage son is exhibiting some negative traits that I know I also exhibit unconsciously. How do I break that cycle? I guess this is from a concerned parent,
Okay.
not wanting to, repeat some of the errors. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so like what I said earlier, I said that children learn by observation. They learn all the things you will see in your child is something your child has learned from you as the parent. So the first thing you need to do as a parent is to consciously stop those negative things you've seen in your children and start doing the right thing. The moment you start doing the right thing, now consciously speak to your child about it. Tell your child the pros and cons of those actions, of those behaviors. If they're negative behaviors, speak to your child about the consequences of those behaviors and help the child to change, basically. So but the first change has to come from you. If you don't change, you have no moral standing to tell the child to change.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Then there's another one. I can see one in my DM now. It says that you've talked about mindfulness, being mindful, being present. I think it's coming from where you were, defining what mindfulness is. But in this world, that's what the person says. Is it possible to be really mindful and raise children?
It's your choice, really. Anything you want is possible. Anything you want is possible. But it's now you being deliberate and intentional about what you want. This is what I want. This is what I want to achieve. And go for it. And one of the things I said when I was talking about parenting that parenting is a transformational journey. It's transformational for the parents. There are things you see in yourself and you're like, I don't want my children to be doing this. So you'll be deliberate about changing it. It could be your dressing. It could be the way you're speaking. It could be in the way you do certain things. But the change should start from you. And if you want to be a mindful parent, it's possible for you to be a mindful parent. You could go for mindful challenges. There's this challenge we have in my academy. It's a 5 days mindfulness challenge for parents where it will teach you how to be mindful. And it's a practice. Even you said so, Ronke, that mindfulness is not something you do overnight. And when I was giving my presentation, I also said it. Mindfulness is not something you do overnight. Mindfulness is something you practice and you get used to. It's just like you learning how to ride a bicycle. You cannot learn how to ride a bicycle without falling, So it's a practice. You have to practice until you get better at it. And it's possible.
Thank you very much. I think I would like to add to that. Also, remember where we started from? For those who joined earlier, when we're taking the icebreaking session, and we were sharing the icons that represent our nation. Our nation here, talking about our families. So think about what kind of citizen your nation wants to produce. For example, you all are here, okay, from all over the world. when you see citizens of different nations and you see the value that they bring to the table, when you see how they behave, when you see all of the things they exhibit, you may want to say, oh, I like the way so and so nation behaves and how their citizens, conform. So you may want to think about the end results in raising the children that are at your disposal. And when I say that, okay, it's not just about your biological children now. Every child around you, you have a sense of responsibility to those children in one way or the other. It may not be directly, but think about how you will want them to behave. Think about the quality in their behaviors, the quality and the type of value that you want to imbibe. And then that will also let you know. It's just like you setting a goal for the nation that you want to raise. Once you set that goal and your face is set on that goal, you have that vision board before you, it will be easier to be more mindful. And then so you won't go on, replicating probably bad habits that you're supposed to stop. You would probably seek help professionally also, all right? Even with whatever, bad habit, whatever challenge that you're having and you don't want your children to pick up from. So it will help you to have that resolve, to be more mindful in your approach to parenting. So at this point, we may not be able to take another question, except, okay, thankfully, there's no question in the chat room. If you have any quick question, drop it before the next 3 minutes are over. And at this point, I think we've come to the Q&A session, and we're also wrapping up the event. Thank you again, everyone. If you have not done the icebreaker, if you were not here when the icebreaker, was done, try as much as possible to also practice that, okay, with your family. It also helps, we're talking about mindful parenting. It helps you foster unity, helps, bring some form of love and spark back into your lives. Even if you're busy, you can still find time to stop. That's S, stop. Take a few deep breaths. And then once you, process all of that information, you have the O acronym, where you are observant of everything going on around you and within you. And then you proceed to know what next. Proceed to finding a solution to how you're going to be a better parent, how you're going to be a better guardian. So at this point, we've come to the end of the Mind in Mind 7.0. Thank you very much for joining in. The recording will be made available to everyone here, and it will also be shared on our social media handles. Please feel free to reach out to Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi on our website, www.oluwatoyin.ogunkomi. Thank you oluwatoyinogunkomi.com. I think so, yeah? You can unmute yourself and let us know.
Together.
Yes, oluwatoyinogunkomitogether.com. Thank you very much, everyone. And quickly, we also need to thank our sponsors. We may not have been able to do this without them. We have two of our major sponsors, ABCD Education Services, that's above and beyond the call of duty. Thank you so much. They've taken out time to put this together for us and to sponsor this in a very, very massive way. Thank you so much to the team at ABCD. They are your plug to good international education services. In case you have dreams of traveling abroad and to further your education, or you have your children, you want to send them abroad, they are your plug for everything international education across the world. So trust me on this when I say that ABCD is your plug. They are your go-to, people when it comes to, international education. Thank you so much for being a wonderful sponsor to us. We appreciate you. And the website address is www.abcd.ng. You can also reach out, to them through me. Just chat me up, send me a DM, and I'll be glad to link you up. And then we have Dr. Mo Studios. Thank you so much, Dr. Mo Studios. They're in charge of our media, in charge of everything that we do, all our beautiful flyers, and even in-house logistics and all of that. Thank you so much, Dr. Mo, and all the team at Dr. Mo Studios. We appreciate you, and we do not take all of your help for granted. You've been there for us, even from, when they say from day one, from even before the 1.0 started. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you. We thank everyone from the smart parenting, workshop, as well, smart parenting, family. That's Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkanmi's tribe. We appreciate you also for giving her this slot to be with us today. Thank you, everyone, for your time. We do not take you for granted, because without you, we will not be here. We appreciate that you show up every time we have these sessions. Watch out for Mind in Mind 8.0. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to be an impactful session as always. Thank you, everyone. Please, in all you do, note that you need to keep minding your mind. Mind your mind, and then your life will be a better for it. Have a wonderful weekend, fam. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Like every morning, the sun always rises, reminds me of forgiveness. You always provide. When life seems hard and there's no way out, moving towards your love is loud.